Hello and welcome to the Week in Review, a recap of your weekly headlines on the Western Slope. I'm Chad Roderick. It's been a newsworthy week with the reopening of the government as well as Veterans Day. We'll cover all of it, starting with what's happening now at the government now that it's back open. SNAP benefits are returning in time for the upcoming holidays. 620,000 Coloradans use SNAP in the Centennial State. That's according to officials from the Colorado Department of Human Services. Kyle Kawamoto checked in with the Western Slope branch of Food Bank of the Rockies to hear more.
On this vote, the yeas are 222, the nays are 209. The bill is passed.
The doors to the nation's government are back open as of Wednesday night. Back home on the Western Slope, there is a sense of comfort.
We're really relieved and grateful that the government is reopening, and that's going to provide a lot more stableness for the programs that we run, and that we are able to see our neighbors access SNAP benefits again.
Here at the Food Bank of the Rockies, Henning says over the last few weeks, the organization has seen a more than 50% increase in clients at some of the local food pantries and a 60% jump at the Orchard Mesa Mobile Pantry.
It really is showing us what can happen when there are less resources available, that need is really going to increase, and food pantries and food banks like Food Bank of the Rockies are going to see a lot of that increase.
Officials from the food bank say Coloradans who rely on SNAP can start seeing their November benefits as early as Thursday.
Last Friday, we started issuing SNAP benefits because we were given, the go-ahead from the federal government. We got 32,000 families their benefits before the Supreme Court shut us down and made us stop.
Barnes also tells me the Colorado Department of Human Services started issuing the benefits as soon as the government shutdown was lifted. About 620,000 Coloradans rely on these benefits.
This was a gut-wrenching period for families to actually not be able to feed their families.
Kyle Kawamoto, Fox 4 News.
And before the government reopened, there was real unease among the community about food resources. And even with the government reopening, nonprofits on the Western Slope are buckling down. Marge Tobin has more from Clifton Christian Church Food Bank.
The Clifton Christian Church Food Bank opened registration for Thanksgiving baskets last week, and they sold out within just 6 hours.
We had 500 starting last Wednesday, so not even a week ago, we had 500 coupons, we call them, and they are all gone. They went in 6 hours.
Feaster says it's the busiest time they've ever seen at the food bank.
That being said, my shelves are starting to get empty. I was not prepared for this much need this time of the year. We prepared for Thanksgiving boxes. We prepared for the normal kind of food that we usually give away.
The extra need is pushing the food bank to stock up and plan ahead to meet the needs of our community this holiday season.
We are buying food like crazy. We are putting food where food usually doesn't get stored. Tomorrow we're getting about 18 pallets of food in to make sure we have enough through the end of the year. Because you have to understand that even if we got our food stamps turned on, tomorrow, people still didn't have last week's food.
The food bank is now turning to the community for help to keep their shelves stocked and their mission going.
We really, really need our community to step up and support Clifton Christian Church Food Bank. We are a 501c3 nonprofit for your taxes. You can donate to us online. You can bring money to us, but we are really in need, as everyone's in need, but we're in need of your support if that's something you can do.
If you'd like to donate or learn more, you can visit cccfoodbank.com. Marge Tobin, Fox 4 News.
In other news from the week, Mesa County Sheriff Todd Rowell doesn't plan to seek re-election when his term is over. Ariana Boss has more on this development from the sheriff's office.
We've learned that Mesa County Sheriff Todd Rowell is not planning to seek re-election at the end of his term. He's been with the sheriff's office for over 20 years and was sworn in as sheriff in January of 2022. Rowell has declined comment on why he won't be running again, but a representative of his office says he's not retiring and has every intention of fulfilling the rest of his current term, which still has more than a year left. Rowell is at the forefront of an ongoing budget battle between the sheriff's office and the county, and he's also named plaintiff in a civil lawsuit against Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser and Governor Jared Polis. Mesa County Property Crime Supervisor Ross Young plans to formally announce his candidacy to replace Rowell early next week. Ariana Boss, back to you at the desk.
And a church in Montrose was found guilty of breaking 4 municipal codes this past week after allowing homeless residents to live in their courtyard back in February. Ariana Boss has more on the trial and the verdict.
They were people in need. We provided for them.
I was a stranger, and you took me in. It's a passage from the Bible's Gospel of Matthew, and what the United Methodist Church in Montrose says they were doing by inviting local homeless neighbors to sleep in their courtyard during the cold winter February nights this past year. The act led to multiple citations by the city in a matter of days, and a lawsuit in municipal court they lost this past week. Montrose Municipal Court found the church guilty on 4 out of 5 code violations, including storing litter and creating a nuisance. 15 witnesses testified in the exhaustive trial, including criminal analysts, fire marshals, and police, who described large amounts of refuse around the encampments and trash everywhere. United Methodist understood they were not in compliance according to court documents, but, quote, did not think the city should tell the church what to do, and have always maintained they were doing the right thing.
It was the church's determination to not cast them out, that we would provide a shelter for them. The church has been a distribution point for a lot of services for people in need.
United Methodist was found innocent on count 2, keeping of junk, after an unhoused resident testified to the use and purpose of each item the city labeled as trash. In his verdict, Judge Thomas LeClaire declared that one man's trash is another man's treasure. Ariana Boss, Fox 4 News.
Now we turn to our Veterans Day coverage. We're very grateful to all of the veterans out there. We thank you. In Fruta, veterans from all over the Grand Valley came to honor those who have served. Kyle Kawamoto has more on the ceremony.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Today we gather under the theme for Veterans Day 2025, Service to Our Nation. These words, though simple, they carry a very profound weight. Service is more than a duty.
More than 100 veterans, along with local legislators and community members, filled the parking lot of this memorial park dedicated to those who have served in Vietnam.
It was great to see that too, and that patriotism. Hopefully that's all coming back, and we celebrate all veterans.
Jim Duty, the founder of the Western Slope Vietnam War Memorial Park, says this is the 22nd year for the event. In a new way to honor those, a new sculpture was unveiled with a special meaning.
It's just a appreciation of all of those who have served in the military by kneeling towards them and bowing their head towards them.
This type of dedication is a special way to welcome home those who have served.
It was always an emotional time when a person was getting ready to go home because they thought they may not make it. It was a important time to be able to go home.
The Vietnam veterans appreciate being recognized because so many of them were not exactly appreciated when they came home from Vietnam.
Brigadier General Michael Bruno, Director of Joint Staff for Joint Force Headquarters, reflected on those who have served our nation.
As we stand here at a memorial dedicated to those who served in Vietnam, we acknowledge that that generation who served during that era holds a unique place in our nation's history.
Kyle Kawamoto, Fox 4 News.
And a family of veterans dating back to the birth of our country live right here in Grand Junction. Ariana Boss spoke with a 100-year-old World War II veteran and her family to learn about their family legacy of service centuries in the making.
I took the streetcar down and signed up. I was 20, and you had to be 20 to join the Navy.
When 100-year-old Patricia Thompson Corbet enlisted to serve her country during World War II 80 years ago, she was carrying on a family legacy of military duty dating all the way back to the Revolutionary War.
It makes me very proud to have done what little I could and what little I did.
To the soldiers she healed as a Navy caretaker, her kindness and courage as such a young woman were anything but little.
To give a liver shot, it scared me to death. Had to practice on oranges in a syringe and go. Scared me to death when I had to do the first shot.
Patricia was inspired to serve by her mother Else, a nurse in World War I, and her father Raymond, who was gassed in the trenches of France. When the Second World War came to a welcome end, Patricia was all too familiar with the horrors her comrades faced in battle as the daughter of those who fought for their country.
You just felt, oh gosh, brave, brave, brave men. Thank God it's over for you. No more war.
After the war, Patricia and her friends found returning to everyday life a bewildering experience.
It was like pulling a plug. What do I do now?
But she soldiered on, falling in love with a World War II naval officer named John Corbet, and together with him, creating a family of children and many grandchildren who were inspired to serve, including her son Pierre, a self-described surfer boy turned Air Force pilot.
I'm long hair, shorts, and flip-flops, and I look around and like one of these is not like the others.
A legacy of service is not all that is passed through military families. Pierre says he and his mom have both done their best to break the cycle of generational pain and emotional withdrawal so many families in the armed forces have endured, including their own.
Mom's mom never once told her mom that she loved her. So what she saw in the Maginot Line never talked about, but I can't imagine, right? No one can imagine what that's like, what the damage that is done.
Pierre's father found peace after the war through his paintbrush.
He painted a watercolor of the submarine with the man on top, and he said, I'm art. So he switched his degree to art, and he became a teacher.
But through the heartache and scars of battle, the Corbet's family history is a love story, a love for one another and for defending the Constitution, a love that spans the centuries and that is just beginning, even at 100 years old.
I'm very proud to celebrate on Veterans Day.
Ariana Boss, Fox 4 News.
And we move on to more local news. More than a dozen community organizations gathered at the Mesa County Fairgrounds for a resource fair. Ryn Lewis has more.
We are here just to be a support in any way that they need to bridge the gap.
On Monday, the Food Bank of the Rockies, along with more than a dozen community organizations, held a combination resource fair and mobile pantry.
We have free winter clothing for kids, adults, everyone. We have hygiene essentials, there's housing support, there's counseling and emotional support, there's organizations that are community connectors here.
Christina Gumbiner, program manager at Food Bank of the Rockies, says the idea came from the Outreach and Basic Needs subgroup of the Grand Valley Coalition for the Homeless.
In combination with all my friends on these organizations, we determined that this really was the perfect pairing, the perfect opportunity to meet neighbors where they're at with the resources that we have available for them.
Gumbiner says she hopes the fair will give residents a central location to access resources more easily.
Whether it be food, whether it be a doctor's appointment, whether it be information on getting on a housing list or senior support. There's so many challenges and so many barriers along the way. So we are here to break down those barriers to offer access to a multitude of things all in one location.
Ryn Lewis, Fox 4 News.
And for years, families all across Mesa County have struggled to find daycare for their children, due in part to a lack of availability in caregivers. But things may be looking up. Ariana Boss shows us what initiatives the county has taken in the past few years and how those efforts are finally paying off.
When 3 or more children are on the wait list for one slot in daycare, it's known as a child care desert. For years, Mesa County has suffered from overwhelming amounts of demand for care meeting an insufficient supply, the effects of which can, experts say, hurt a child's development.
90% of the child's brain development is developed before the age of 5. So developing productive members of society that have good trajectories into their life starts at before age 5.
But for many areas in the county, an oasis in the midst of the desert has appeared. Over a period of 5 years, from 2019 to 2024, large portions of Mesa County have been pulled out of the child care crisis. One of the initiatives fueling the change? Bridge Care, an online portal allowing families to search for the care they need by the type of services offered, hours, location, and more.
They don't have to make those 100 phone calls to find out where they can put their child, and they can also look at their profiles to see what child care is best for them.
To be sure, shortages still exist, especially in more rural areas. But with Bridgecare logging a record 1,500 searches just this year and counting, experts hope the remaining childcare deserts in Mesa County will be flooded with assistance for children in need.
Everyone knows somebody who depends on childcare, and it's a crucial part of our economy and making sure that families can thrive, but also that our economy can build.
Ariana Boss, Fox 4 News.
And we have another great feature story. A local dancer is proving that age is just a number. April Schulte Barkley has been selected as one of just 50 women over 50 years old to perform at the Los Angeles Rams pregame show this Sunday. Marge Tobin has the story.
National Adoption Month it's just federally recognized as a month to honor the importance of getting children adopted.
November is National Adoption Month.
It's important for those children to find permanency and to have families that they can grow up in.
Mesa County Child Welfare and Adult Protection Division Director Joe Kellerby says the first goal is reuniting the child with their family.
When that's not possible due to ongoing safety concerns, then children are free for adoption and then they can be adopted.
Kellerby says out of this year's adoptions,
of those adoptions that we have done this year, 30% of those are with family. So there are families that adopt within their own family, and 70% are not with family.
The Colorado Department of Human Services says there are about 300 kids waiting to be adopted statewide. And in Mesa County,
we have 25 children currently that are free for adoption. There are some that are already in the process and it's not finalized, and we have some that are just starting the process.
Kellerby says adoption is an important option to get a child into a permanent home, and the last one.
We believe, first and foremost, to work in the best interest of children. We try to get, again, children back to parents. We try to get families to take in children within their own family. But when those fail, then adoption needs to be an option for children so that they can have a permanent and safe place to live the rest of their childhood years.
And Kellerby tells me finalizing an adoption takes a village.
There are professionals, there are CASA volunteers, there is guardian ad litems that work in the best interest of children in the court process. There are caseworkers, there are service providers. So when that process is finalized, it really is a celebration amongst a lot of different people that are working with children.
Ren Lewis, Fox 4 News.
Mountain Film on Tour returned to the Avalon Theater this week. A great experience if you enjoy independent films. Ren Lewis has more.
It's a milestone week for April Schulte Barkley as she's celebrating her 50th birthday and preparing to take the field at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. She's one of 50 women chosen from across the country in a national search by Staying Alive Georgia, and is the only woman from Colorado to make the team.
Once upon a time, I was a professional dancer, and when I saw that ad for dancers age 50 and over, I really thought, what's going on with this? This is interesting. I gave it some thought, and I decided to contact them to find out if I was going to be old enough. It turns out I barely made the cut. I had to be 50 by this Sunday, November 16th. I auditioned through sending them an audition video, and I was accepted. They drew from applicants all over the country. I was accepted, and I've been practicing ever since.
April teaches dance at her family's studio DanceWorks, which has served the community for over 45 years. When she's not dancing, she's helping others as the owner and director of Healing Horizons, an integrative medicine clinic focused on health and wellness.
We do acupuncture and chiropractic and nutrition, behavioral health, homeopathy, and so much more. We're all things health here at Healing Horizons, trying to keep us healthy and feeling young as long as we can.
April and the other dancers have been practicing the routine with Staying Alive Georgia sending back critiques.
They have to turn in a video of them doing it by section, and then we critique it. And then this past week, they had to submit the video for the whole routine.
April says she's feeling very blessed for the opportunity that she has this Sunday.
You know, I grew up watching football with my dad, who's gone, so I know he'll be watching me from the heavens above, and I can't wait to represent the best of what football has to offer, that's for sure.
April hopes to inspire her students and women no matter their age. Marge Tobin, Fox 4 News.
And November is recognized as National Adoption Month. Ren Lewis has more on what the process looks like in Mesa County.
Mountain Film on Tour is going to be happening this Thursday, November 13th, at the Avalon Theater in downtown Grand Junction.
On Thursday, the Western Colorado Alliance is hosting Mountain Film on Tour.
Mountain Film is an annual festival that usually happens in Telluride, and then we're fortunate to be able to bring it on tour.
Western Colorado Alliance board member Haley Van Camp says they'll be showing 8 films.
They kind of span from everything from kind of extreme sports to a little bit more feel-good inspirational films.
One of the films, called First In, Last Out, is about a Grand Junction native.
Her name is Krista Funk. She now works and lives in Hawaii and does surf photography.
Who returned to town for the screening of the film.
I'm so happy with the final product. I think it came out as a beautiful tribute to my dad and a very awesome way to tell my story, and I'm really grateful for it.
Funk says it means a lot to be back in her hometown for the showing.
I'm really grateful that they asked me to come to Grand Junction to be a part of the tour stop in my hometown. It's fun to be able to share it with people that knew my story and knew me and have supported me over the years.
Rin Lewis, KREX News.
And that's it for the Week in Review. You are now caught up on the weekly headlines on the Western Slope. Stay tuned every Friday for more.